the green screen. It's showing the green screen. See it? Oh, we got to go on to the live one, right? Where it says live stream. You're already doing it. The green screen. It's showing the green screen. See it? Oh, we got to go on to the live one, right? Where it says live stream. You're already doing it. The green screen. It's showing the green screen. Looking for the background. See it? Yeah. What does it say? Oh, we're going to go on to the live one, right? Where it says live stream. Let's see what you're doing. You're already doing it. The green screen. It's showing the green screen. Looking for the background. See it? Yeah. What does it say?
You want to see what you look like. It's a little laggy because it's
Oh, I see. It's okay.
you want to see what you look like.
There we go.
It's a little laggy because it's
Now this one I can get rid of, right? I can't drag it anywhere. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
You want to see it go.
I got to get rid of this little box here. I want to see what's going on over here.
You can't.
Now this one.
That's
Now this one. Get rid of, right? I can get rid of, right? Drag it anywhere. I can't drag it anywhere. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
You want to see it go. I turned it down.
I got to get rid of this little box here. Oh, it was. Let's see what's going on over here.
Yeah,
this one.
Yeah,
this one. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of, right? Get rid of, right? Drag it anywhere. I can't drag it anywhere. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
I turned it down.
I got to get rid of this little box here. Oh, it was. Let's see what's going on over here.
There you go. So now you won't hear voices from that either.
Okay.
I logged on his other window that was on YouTube, and I turned off the audio when it was on his phone. And I was see, I didn't even see that he's going there.
Yeah, but you can't hear me talking though.
He can hear you talking on the other end.
Oh,
If you talk and your YouTube is on, it's gonna have an echo.
I see.
I'm just seeing YouTube has them.
You need to start talking to your people. I mean, there's really nobody in here, but
It was 4 people. Oh, no, not this.
Hmm? This is for what?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, hon? Okay. All right. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to Electrician's Masterclass, where knowledge is power. This is a live Q&A tonight, and a DIY Q&A. Everyone is invited, whether you're an electrician, you're a homeowner, aspiring electrician, a licensed electrician, a union or non-union, everybody's invited. All right. Everybody can get involved, and everybody can put their input. You know, and we will be given. We also give a class on the preparation for the New Jersey electrical license. Um, that's what Electrician's Masterclass is. Plus, we show videos. Um, and we discuss code, and we do all that kind of stuff. Hey Lotus, how you doing? Welcome to the room. Um, hey Lucas, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Um, so we're gonna discuss winterizing your home, all right? And I'm gonna ask you, everybody, um, winterizing your home, what do we need to do to winterize our home? And I will answer your questions as you go along. We had a Q&A Monday for Electrician's Masterclass. We had a Q&A, and we had it was a DIY, and we had a good response, and everybody contributed, and I appreciate them coming in, you know, and whatever questions you have, shoot away, and then I'll answer them the best that I can. If I can't, I will find the answer for you, and then we'll go from there. I've been in the field for 40 years, and uh, union electrician, non-union electrician, so residential, commercial, industrial. All right, but tonight we're going over the DIY stuff and the home stuff. So anybody, just give me a question and I'll answer it for you. Um, so so you need my help, Lotus? What could I help you with, Lotus? Okay. Okay, what kind of what can I help you with? Evan Part 90, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to the room. Thanks for dropping by, um, everybody. You have a question? Mate. Okay, go ahead, shoot, Evan. What's the question? We're talking about pretty much, you can talk about homeowner stuff, like DIY stuff. We're also talking about winterizing the house. And I wanted to know, I was asking you guys a question, if you had any idea what you need to do to winterize your house. As far as insulating your windows, um, I'm an electrician, so pretty much you'd have to ask a builder for that. But, I would, if you're gonna do it, I would use. So Lucas, I don't know if my extension cord for my fridge is good enough. Why don't you think it's good enough? Okay, Lotus, you have a drip near your panel? Well, you need to find out where that drip is coming from and make sure it's insulated from the outside and siliconed and duct sealed and all that good stuff on the outside and on the inside. So Evan, you got to definitely insulate your windows, with the spray foam around them, you know. Um, and you just have to make sure that you that's not really an electrical question, but I can, you just make sure you have different windows too, double pane windows and stuff like that, that they're insulated. Can you fix the drip by your panel? I would call an electrician and have them take care of it. Um, if we have any, I don't know if we have any builders in here. If we have any builders in here, he can tell you what to do with the windows. He can, recommend you to get new windows or whatever, you know. That's not my expertise, you know what I mean? Um, but anything else you guys want to ask? Lotus was asking, could we fix it? Hey Todd, what's going on? Welcome back, Todd. How you doing? All right? I've never had electric fireplace, so I wouldn't really know what to do with that, you know. As far as winterizing your home, guys, winterizing your home, you could be insulating your electrical outlets, with those covers. You can also install like a programmable thermostat. The thermostat, that's programmable, that, it goes on when you want it to go on, like certain times, certain days, you know what I mean? So it's not constantly running. A smart thermostat you could use, you know, um, Nest smart thermostat, but you have to have a common wire for the Wi-Fi to work. Um, what else? You can put in recessed LED lights, all right, to save you money. They're gonna last longer. Um, they might even be brighter, so that you'll save some energy there. You also, like, for the winterizing and stuff like that, uh, you can also put low voltage lighting. Hey, Glenn Williams, how you doing? How you been, brother? Welcome to the room. Um, thanks for coming. Uh, so yeah, um, so there's different things that you can do for as far as, like if you guys want to do the space heating thing, a lot of people hook up space heaters during the winter time, but you have to make sure that, you get somebody to run you a separate line for that, or the outlet is the line that, the power that it's drawing is large enough to handle that. Look on the back of the space here to see what it's drawing, and make sure that you have a line ran for that. So you may have to call an electrician for that. You don't want it overheating, you don't want it melting the outlet, you don't want it starting a fire, So there's nothing wrong with space heaters. You just have to make sure that you have the power for them, you know. You were told to buy a Nest heater. What do you know about those? Um, as far as a Nest heater goes, um, I'm not sure, like those those other heaters though, the space heaters, there's a lot of good ones out there. You just have, like I said, you just have to be careful of the amperage, you know. Um, what are the long tubes that produce light called? What are you talking about? Fluorescent lighting? Yeah, you're talking about fluorescent lighting. Well, sometimes if you're tapping and it's still not working, it could be a ballast problem. It could be a transformer problem, you know. Um, so you may have to look into that. Well, what could be causing the drip? It depends, Lotus. You're talking about a drip coming into your service. It could be from the head. It could be starting from the service head up at the top, where the wires come in from the utility to your house. Sometimes if we don't have a drip loop, um, the water is just gonna stay there. It's gonna freeze. It's not gonna drip down. It's gonna drip down. It'll stay there and it'll start to drip down the cable, and it will eventually go into either the meter pan, if it's not sealed up on the top with the weather tight connector with the duct seal. If it's not sealed there, or it could even drip down even further and go into the hole of where the service enters the house. And if it's not properly siliconed or you know, spray foamed, silicone, I would go with the silicone. But if it's not properly sealed on both sides, it could work its way down the cable into the house, down the service cable, into the panel, and it can it can cause damage. It could cause rust. It could cause fire. You know what I mean? Hey Evan, what's going on? Should hire electrician install additional outlets so that it won't overload the existing ones during the winter. Definitely. Sometimes, electricians just come in, they just break up your circuits, you know what I mean? You could have like, say if you had two outlets and they were on the same circuit, if you have a box downstairs, a junction box, he could just come into that junction box and he could just break up the outlets, the circuit, you know? You're welcome, Lotus. Um, but he could break up the circuit like that. Or sometimes you have to run a new wire to one of the outlets, and take it off the existing feed. Am I making any sense, Evan? Evan? Am I making any sense? Okay, so let's get back to you can also save some energy. You could also install some smart dimmers. Um, Smart dimmers like the electronic dimmers. Yeah, that could be old knob and tube. So when you replaced it, what happened after you replaced it, Glenn? So as far as the smart dimmers, like what I was saying was, you're welcome, Evan. So what I was saying as far as the smart dimmers, they're electronic dimmers. So they're gonna work, you're able to use different lights on it. You're able to use, oh, that's good. So you're able to use different lights. You can on these LED smart dimmers, you could put like, different lights on there. You could use the same dimmer for, incandescent lights. You could use it for LED lights, you know, um, and you can install your ring cameras, outside. Uh, Different things to do, for the winter time, security wise, like to keep an eye on your house, the ring cameras, the ring spotlights. Um, I would put some more outside lighting if you want. You can actually put some outside lighting, and you can make your place more secure. If you live in not a close area, where the houses are spread apart, and also a generator. A generator is a good thing to get. To back your house up, in case in case something, the generator is good to back your house up in case, you have a power outage or you have a storm or stuff like that, or a blackout or whatever, during the summer. But during the winter time, it's mainly due to storms and stuff like that. So, you want to have power, you want to have heat. You don't want to be stuck with that in the winter time. So it's good, just to either put a standby generator in, or you can put a portable generator in, with an interlock plate. If you need to know, we could explain that too. So, if there's any questions though, just, let me know. Um, if you can, like and subscribe. We have a lot of good stuff coming up, as far as, stuff that we're gonna go over. We can go, this class is not just for, people learning in the trade, it is, but it also, is also there for, DIYers, electricians, uh, contractors. We all get together, we talk about stuff, and, we can all learn from each other, you know. Hopefully, I would like to get something together where we can just have a panel, and we can have special, guests come on, like electricians, they can answer your questions and stuff like that. Um, you know, besides me, you know, and if there's something, because you can ask whatever you want to ask. What are your options for Stoli back Paris system? What are my options for a what? Stoli back Paris system weed generator. I've never heard of that before. Okay, what are my backup options on any options I have for installing a backup system or generator? Well, we have to, you'd have to figure out the square footage and everything. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. Um, we'd have to figure out the square footage, and then the electrician can go from there and see what you're using in your house and, do a little load calculation. If you're gonna do a standby generator, you know. Um, with an interlock plate, it's a little different in a portable generator because what you do is it will just shut off. It will shut off the utility power. It's like a plate that moves back and forth, and it shuts off the utility power so that the panel would just the generator, the breaker that controls the generator outlet will have the generator kick in. All right, so you're just going to be able to just use whatever you can. So you pick the circuits. You just have to make sure that you don't overload the circuits. Whereas a backup generator should handle your whole house. If it's sized right. Oh, your panel has rust. What do you think of that? And what should I do? Can I just wipe it off? Usually what I do is I'll sand it down. You know, I'll sand it down, and then what I'll do is I'll sand it down really good, get the rust off of there, and then spray some galvanized spray on there, just and that should take care of it as long as it's not too rusty. If it's too rusty, then you're gonna have to eventually change the panel. All right, what's up, Sparks? The name. I heard that carbon monoxide poisoning is increasing in the wintertime. How do I ensure that mine works properly? I have 3 kids, and I am very, very concerned. That's a good question. What you should do is you should get yourself a carbon monoxide detector. Just don't put it, I wouldn't put it directly in the boiler room. I would put it outside the boiler room, somewhere, right, usually like say if it's on the landing, if, depending on what you're doing, I don't know if you have battery backup smokes that are electrically wired, that have a battery backup. And I'm not sure, if you're just talking about a battery carbon monoxide detector, because you can do that too. I mean, I don't know what you have in your house. So, but I would never put it inside the boiler room, for the reason is if there's a backdraft, it's going to come back out and it's going to constantly keep going off. You know what I mean? But that's, that's to show you have a problem with your boiler. Um, so so that's I would put it outside of the room, the carbon monoxide detector. If you already have smoke detectors, then every landing should have a carbon monoxide / smoke detector. All right. Yes, like Len said, make sure your alarms are up to date. I think it's every 8 years. Um, check that. Um, check the date on your smoke detectors. And make sure that they're not outdated because they have to, you know, they have to be changed. Glenn is also a fireman, in case you guys know. So he'll definitely be able to help you with that. Any question that you have with that. Um, but he's absolutely right, you know? But like I said, every landing should have a carbon smoke detector, a carbon / smoke detector, and every bedroom should have a smoke detector. All battery backup interconnected, so they're all wired together. If you're just coming in the room, thank you for coming in the room. If you can, click like and subscribe, because we have a lot of good stuff on this channel. I mean, this channel is we teach electricians to get your license. New Jersey electricians, aspiring electricians to become licensed contractors. All right, so we have a website that's electriciansmasterclass.com. All right, and we also want to offer helpful things, like we talk about, like I said, DIY stuff. We'll talk about code stuff, appeal to everybody, not just homeowners. You know what I mean? Homeowners are afraid to come in some of these rooms because they're always getting kicked out. So my thing is that they're welcome here. Everybody's welcome here, whether you're non-union, union, licensed electrician, aspiring apprentice electrician, or just a homeowner, DIYer. You don't even have to own a house, but just be careful what you guys do. Make sure that you just, if you're going to do something, it's just make sure it's just replacing lights, replacing an outlet, replacing a switch. Just make sure that you shut the power off. You check the power with the voltage meter. All right. And you make sure that the power is off. Anything that is new, that is brand new, any new wiring, you definitely have to have a licensed electrician, okay? You have to pull a permit, okay? So don't try to get around it because it's your house that you're dealing with, or it's somebody else's life that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? How many times do I need to change a smoke detector, or is it saying that I need to change it every 10 years? I missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, 10 year. 10 years. Yep, Glenn is right. They also have batteries that are in there, lithium batteries that are good for 10 years. You don't even have to change the battery no more. Some of them still have the regular batteries. If it's a electric smoke detector, you should call an electrician. You know what I mean? If it's something like, just changing the battery, that's one thing, but you have to take it down. It depends how comfortable you are with the electricity, Lotus. Radio is not getting power. Yeah, Glenn's right again. You should always keep everybody should have one of these non-contact voltage detectors. Um, And everybody should have one to test the circuits, you know what I mean? Everybody should have one. Whether you're a homeowner or you're an electrician, you should always have it. It's your first line of defense. Sometimes, you know, uh, you could get a false reading with it, you know what I mean? There's nothing like a voltage tester, a digital meter. But if you don't have one, that's your first, you know, your first line of defense, with the non-contact voltage detector. Um, yep. Yeah, not as many house fires, due to the building codes. He's absolutely right. And the NEC, when the NEC came out and they started cracking down on that stuff, as far as the fire safety. Well, Lotus, you can get one of these in Home Depot, um, any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. Um, if you're just coming into the room, we're talking about winterizing your home, and making it safe for the winter. Um, it's still, you still, it's still winter, so I mean, Christmas is over and all that stuff, but it's still winter time, and we should, we should be starting way ahead of that. Like we should be starting like October and stuff like that, trying to winterize your house and stuff like that, you know, soon as school starts. Well, Sparks, you should have outdoor covers, you should have especially bubble covers, what we call bubble covers. Um, No, thank you, Sparks. I appreciate you being in the room. I appreciate everybody in the room. Like I said, click like, subscribe, um, and bubble covers. Um, that's what the inspector is going to want you to put on there. So this way, a bubble cover, it gives you enough room to where you could plug the outlet in, and then you could still close close the door with the cord in the outlet. You know, you just have to make sure that you have a deep enough cover. Um, And a lot of inspectors want the bubble covers now, unless it's like a spot where you couldn't get in, and uh, it was a spot that you couldn't get in, then you'd be able to use one of those old covers. But for the main part, the bubble cover is the best. Thank you, Lucas. You're welcome to come back anytime. Like I said, we don't discriminate with anybody, you know, um, so, ask away, just ask your questions. You could check out all the other videos that we have on YouTube, Electrician's Masterclass, after the live if you want, or you can check them out now. But like I said, if you're gonna work on stuff, uh, make sure you shut off the power. Make sure that you don't want to cut yourself either, like especially if you're working on sharp fixtures and stuff like that. Make sure you have your gloves, the gloves that you get in Home Depot, um, your safety glasses, just in case you happen to cross a wire and your spark shoots out. You don't want it damaging your eyes and stuff like that. Um, and then you know have a first aid kit, close by, just in case you cut your finger or whatever, just be careful when you work, and make sure that you have your tester and you shut off the power, all right, especially if you're not an electrician. Even if you are an electrician, you shut the power. Sometimes we're in a really tight spot and you can't get in the box, so sometimes you really have to shut the power off. Everybody always asks me, how come you never shut the power off? You never shut the power off. There's times when I shut it off when it gets really, really tight. No, well, you want to take care of the stuff that you have, Lotus. If you have an outside condenser for an air conditioner, you want to cover it every year. You want to make sure that you keep it good so that it doesn't it doesn't get it doesn't you don't have to replace it because it got damaged and stuff from all the weather and stuff like that. So it's good to cover your air conditioners, your AC units and stuff like that. Well, you shouldn't be using Sparks. You shouldn't be using it's safe to plug in multiple devices during the winter. Well, like I said, you have to be careful with those power strips, what you plug into them. And that the outlet that is feeding that power strip is able to handle the power, you know. But like I said, space heater, I wouldn't be plugging it into no power strip, That should be in an outlet and it should be a separate circuit, So Lucas, you have microwave, vacuum, mini fridge, fan, easy way to test if I'm not overloading my electrical source in the RV. Need to connect to the control panel of the house. So what you can do, Lucas, is the give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, so what I was talking about before was a non-contact voltage detector, okay? And we can we could read amperage on this, all right? So like Lucas was talking about, you just have to be careful, Lucas, when you're working in the panel, especially if you're a homeowner, because you just have to be careful. You have to know what the heck you're doing. You can't, just do anything because you don't want to get hurt. I don't know if you're an electrician or you're not an electrician, but if we put this on amperage here, right? And then we go around the wire, go into the breaker, it will tell us, when you have everything on, it will tell us how many amps it's drawing, you know? And then, if you're over a certain percentage, if you're over 80% of the breaker, when you're pushing 19, 20 amps, you got to break that circuit up. You know what I'm saying? Um, I like to do 80% of the breaker, which is like 16 amps on a 20 amp circuit, you know.
EcoFarm uses the Bernoulli principle to create a continuous heat recycling block so that virtually
And
no
12 amps on a 15 amp circuit.
tests it heated rooms from
So
45
Lotus
degrees
is
to
saying,
75 degrees
what is the
and
safest way to
50
remove
watts
holiday lights?
50 watts of power. During a live demonstration, EcoWarm heated a 900.
Now, what do you mean by safely remove holiday lights?
73 degrees with 90 seconds, consuming 90% less energy.
The thing about holiday lights is like,
Design makes it easy to move.
a lot of people, you plug them into a GFI breaker, I mean GFI receptacle, when you plug them into a GFI receptacle, sometimes it will trip the circuit, you know what I mean? So if you got your plugs and they're going into your GFI and it's being a pain in the neck and it keeps tripping, what we used to do when I was young was just like tape up all the cords and stuff like that, you know, to prevent it from tripping the GFI, because it's annoying when your Christmas lights keep going out, you know. But just be careful, you know, like if you have a GFI receptacle, you should, on the outside, you should. So you shouldn't have no problem when you're removing them. Daughter bought a house and we're rewiring the kitchen. I was planning one for the fridge, one for a 2-burner electric stove top. That's just for the igniter, right, Glenn, for the electric stove top? Oh no, you have electric stove top. What is it drawing, that electric stove top? 2 small appliance circuits and 1 additional adequate. And 1 additional circuit. Yeah, and 1 for the microwave. You have microwave? Dishwasher, 1 for the dishwasher. One for 2-burner electric stove top. Oh, 1800 watts. Is that 120 volts cooktop? $1,800 watts. This, you definitely need a looks like you need a 20 amp circuit for that. Yeah, 1 for the dishwasher, 1 for the microwave. I don't know if you said microwave. So Sparks, wow, you're extremely helpful. I had no idea electricity was so complex. It does get complicated sometimes, you know, if you're a homeowner. So, you know, I would definitely go with a 20 amp line though, Glenn, on that one. For that cooktop. But as far as Sparks, I'm here, you know, like to help you guys, you know what I mean? I don't suggest you do anything that's, you know, not the right way to do it. Don't like try to cut corners. And if you're gonna watch something, watch a video, or if you need to come in the room and you need to ask a question before you do something, or I could even show you how to do it, you know what I mean? To an extent. All right, what is a surge protector? Should I replace them before a winter storm? We will be having one in about 2 weeks. Yeah, well, I mean, if you have a surge protected strip, those are good. You know, usually on the new panels, like when you get a new service, we have to put a surge protector in now, besides an outdoor disconnect. All right, for the service, so the fireman could work on it. You know, in case there was an emergency, they could shut it down. But we need surge protector for the entire panel. You don't have to go that route. You can put the strips out, you know, like make sure that your electronics are protected, you know. Oh yeah, definitely a separate circuit for the microwave. Everything's, it should be 20 amps.
This new invention can do. These self-adjustable glasses are taking the world by storm. They let you achieve a perfect.
You always try to help the electricians before they arrive at the job. Yeah, I mean, it's good. You know, a lot of people won't give their they won't help, you know. They just want to be they want to be at the top. They don't want to help. You know what I'm saying? They won't teach you nothing, all right? And you're never gonna progress in the trade, you know, or you're never gonna progress learning stuff if nobody teaches you anything. You know what I mean?
2 pairs of glasses with you, but having to carry 2 pairs.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, Sparks. A lot of people, you know, they think you're crazy when you go to help somebody, you know, but everybody's got to learn, right?
It turned out a lot of his clients were wearing glasses with an incorrect
Yep,
prescription.
surge protectors do have their lifespans. You're right, Glenn.
Fix these issues and make everyone's life
No
easier.
problem, Lucas. You're welcome anytime. Like I said, like, subscribe, click, whatever you got to do to keep us going. You know, we're just gonna continue to keep you educated electrical wise. You know, like I said, we have good people that pop in the room, you know, like I said, Glenn, I know Glenn personally. He's a great teacher. He's a great, you know, he was a fireman, you know, and he's here, he teaches you know, he teaches a technical course too, you know, but he's here in case you have any questions, you know. So like there'll be a lot of people popping in the room, different kinds of people, you know, who can give their input, you know, that can really help you guys, you know. And you know, I'm definitely co-signing it, you know, because you know, unless I seen something crazy, I would tell you, no, that's not right. It is right, you know what I mean? But I'm co-signing it because I know it's right. All right. How would I know what a surge protector looks like? Hold on 1 second.
Here's what you need to do. Click the link below to visit the official website.
1 second.
And get yours while supplies last. The founder of these glasses is so confident in his product that he is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee with no questions asked, which means you can return the product within 30 days for a full refund. This is a great deal and it could disappear at any moment. So act fast. Grab yours before this amazing offer is gone. Click the link below to claim.
Okay, so yeah, so a surge protector looks like a little square plastic box, and it goes in the side of your panel, and you can put it on you could put it on two phases of two different breaker phases. Usually it's a double pole breaker because you don't want to break it up. You don't want to break the, you know, you want them both to be on at the same time, you know, because you don't want to, you know, you don't want to load on the neutral. All right, so you want to keep it close, okay, to the top. All right, and you know, within like I think it's like 12 inches or less, the wiring. You don't want a long wire because it's not going to be as effective, you know. Surge protector, and a surge protector could be in your power strip, you know what I mean? And that looks a little different, you know. Interesting. You have to learn a whole nother, yes, we do know a whole nother language. I mean, I talk to my customers sometimes and they don't even know what I'm talking about. They're like, yeah, okay. And they start laughing. They say, you know, I don't have no idea what you're talking about because, you know, we talk in a certain language, you know. Um, Let me see if I could get a picture of that surge protector for you. Hold on. Second. Yeah, I've installed floor heatings electric. I would suggest that you go with the plumber's one. You know, I think it's more because if you have a problem with that the electric one. Uh, you know, you sometimes you might have to open up the whole floor if there's a problem, you know, with the wiring, if it gets damaged, you know what I mean? The thermostat's one thing, you know, but if you have a problem, good night, Glenn. Thank you for dropping by. Good seeing you. Happy New Year, brother. Um, so if you know, uh, sometimes people, you know, have a problem with it in the floor and they have to open up the whole floor, you know. I suggest you use the plumbing one, that's the hot water one, you know. But everybody's different. The bathroom has an outlet on the floor. Oh, okay. You can't get the outlet removed from the floor? Electrician remove it or something, or are you an electrician, Sparks, or you just do work around the house? Sparks, you're an electrician? Happy New Year's. You electrician, Sparks? You will impact the basement. Oh, okay, no, I am. No, I am. Oh, you're a handyman. Okay, okay. So, as far as that goes, you have to run like a pipe from the floor into the wall, for the thermostat, you just have to be careful that you do it right and that you don't mess up the wiring, when you do the floor heat. When it works great. You don't want to go to college. So you just be careful what you're putting in, Sparks, because I know handymen like to do a lot of other stuff. So, be careful, like just be careful when you're working, you know what I mean? Because you're not supposed to be doing anything but light fixtures and replacing outlets and anything that a homeowner would do, you know what I mean? Um, but I don't want to know. That's up to you. That's your business, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Anything that you need to have done, um, have an electrician do it. Um, you don't want to go to college. I know it's a lot, schooling wise. And the more you learn, the better you become, you know. No, you just years of being in a trade, I just retired from the electrical union after 29 years, and I was also non-union before that 15 years, so I've been in for a pretty long time. So um and then I also have a company. So, I'm a master electrician. Um so you said, Lotus said, how do I prevent pests or rodents from damaging my wire during the winter? Um, Set some traps. No, what you got to do is, like sometimes it becomes a problem where, I don't know why they like to bite into the Romex wire, which is the plastic wire, this type of wire. Um, but if you change the wiring to the metal cable, they have a problem trying to bite into that. You know what I mean? Um, you just got to be careful because if they bite into that, once your lights start flickering, I would definitely call an electrician, make sure that everything is okay because that stuff shorts, that stuff arcs. You're gonna have a fire up there. You know what I mean? Poison off the cord. You just make sure that all your holes are sealed up, and you don't have no critters coming in through the by the chimney, whether it be a squirrel or whether it be a mouse, biting up your wires and stuff like that. Um, well, Sparks, if you're in New Jersey, you can take the electrician's master class. We give a New Jersey license prep course. Um, electriciansmasterclass.com. But if you're in another state, then you have to go to your local state, like whatever your state is, and look to see where they give those courses to prepare for the test. But you also have to go to school first. You got to go to like a technical school first. before you even, unless you're gonna join a union. If you're gonna join a union, then you can go right in and then you work as an apprentice for 5 years, you know? Um, but if you're just gonna do the technical, if you're just gonna go in, you can't just become an electrician, unless you have experience, you know? You could work as an apprentice, but you have to, he can teach you, you might have a electrician that will teach you. But some of them don't want to teach you. They want you to just, nowadays they want you to have some experience. So if you come from a technical school, they'll see that you have experience, and then they'll train you the rest of the way. Some of them will train you from the beginning. The unions are going to train you from the beginning. So it depends on which route you want to take. Well, Evan, depends on what you do, like you're talking about if you're working with a licensed electrician, then he has the license and he's responsible, do I always need a licensed electrician for a job, or can I get one without a license? Well, you can't do work without a license on your own. But if you're working for a contractor, he has the license. And he's whatever job you're doing for him, you're working under his license. All right, thanks for dropping in. We're talking about DIY. We're talking about electrical DIY questions and answers. Everybody's welcome to come to the room. We have electricians, we have non-union, union electricians, we have aspiring apprentice electricians, and we also have DIYers, homeowners that are afraid to go into electrical chat rooms because they're always getting kicked out. You know what I mean? So this is a perfect platform to come in and ask any question they want to ask. Lucas, happy New Year to you. Hope everything is well. Yeah, happy New Year to you and your family. Yes, Evan, that's so you pass inspection. That's the reason why you need the license, Um, or you need yeah, you need the license. It's better to do things right, you know what I mean? And not have to worry about getting fined or anything like that. Believe me. Um, definitely, Sparks. Thanks for dropping in. Like I said, guys, thanks for dropping in. Click like, subscribe, and we'll be able to give you more information. Yeah, electricians, listen, I'm an electrician for 40 years and I met a lot of people and they don't want to give out their information. They want to take it to the grave. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that, if somebody's here to give you information, I think that's golden. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to give you everything, but they're going to, for the most part, they're going to tell you the basic things. Um, if you're just coming in the room, this is electrician's master class. All right. We're doing a DIY electrical question and answer tonight. We were talking about winterizing your home. If you have any questions about winterizing your home, let me know. And we had some good questions. We also have a lot of people asking a lot of good questions, and they're getting some good answers, from me and some good people in the room. Lotus says, are there risks to leaving my electrical vehicle charger installed outdoors in the winter? No, because it should be GFI protected, so you shouldn't have a problem. Sort of solar panels work during the winter. I was thinking about installing. Of course, they work during the winter. You just have to make sure that you take the snow off of them. Get yourself a broom and take the snow off of them without damaging the crystals and stuff like that. So, like I said, you got to get yourself a long broom, Lotus. Bit small for me to read. Can you please say the comments out loud? I'm taking notes. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sorry. Um, Lotus was asking about the solar panels on the roof. How do you how do you what do you do when it snows outside, Um, you know, you could just dust them off with a broom, just make sure the broom handle is long enough, or else they're not going to work properly, because the sun's not going to melt them all, you know. Um, so I told you, like what you guys got to wear, you know, to be safe with your goggles and your gloves and your make sure that the place is always well ventilated too, depending on what you're doing, you know. Always work safe. Um, we'll eventually go over some tools too. You said your son wants to become a licensed electrician. How should he study after taking the course? He wants to become a licensed. How should he study after taking a course? Okay, so now when you say a course, you're talking about technical school? He needs to get out there and work in the trade, to get accumulated like with the tools and stuff like that. Well, I mean, if you're in a technical school for a little bit, you'll get accumulated with the tools, but he has to have some hands-on, besides just uh doing stuff in a technical school, because it's a little different out in the field, you get a lot of experience out in the field. Well, after he takes a prep course, I would say you should definitely study between 3 and 6 months, a good 6 months, to really because the test is 3 parts, which is business and law, fire alarm, and the code with the calculations. And to really get in your head, it's a lot of information all at once, and the test is like about 8, 9 hours. You know what I mean? And for you to really go in there confident, I would go for at least 6 months. You know. So Evan says, if the power goes out during a winter storm, should I go outside and unplug items like the lights or leave them plugged in until the emergency electrical service arrives? Um, you can leave them on. You can leave them on. If the power goes out during a winter storm, should I go outside and plug them like the lights or leave them plugged in until the emergency electrical service arrives? Storm. Now, when you say a winter storm, like what are you talking about? If the service happens to come down, or just your lights go out. If your lights go out, you just wait till the stuff comes back on. Thank you, Sparks. I appreciate that. Um, like I said, I'm here for you guys, Now, the power line comes down on your lawn, that's something different, Evan. You know, I wouldn't even go near it until, electrician came by and, took a look at it. To call the power company, to shut it down first. So Evan, where are you at? That you're having a blizzard? You're welcome, Lotus. Where is the blizzard? Are you in the south? You in the north? You in the west? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Oh, all right. You're in Colorado. That's cool. Um, like I said, if the power line didn't come down, then I would just wait till the power comes back on. But if the power line came down, I wouldn't be going outside until I call, you call your power company and find out if everything was safe, you know? If you're just joining the room, if you can, just click like and subscribe. We have a lot of good stuff for you. We have videos on YouTube. We have a New Jersey licensed electrical prep course in case you want, you're on your way to taking the license, the electrical, New Jersey license. And, you want to become a licensed electrician, make your own money, all right? And, make your own hours. Um, that's electriciansmasterclass.com. All right. Um, so Lotus says, how would I know? How would how would I ever know if the power line went down or not? If that's something you can actually see maybe out your window. You won't know until you go out there. Just you have to be careful not to go, in that area. I mean, if you start seeing something on the side of your house, um, you know, I wouldn't come out of the house until I called somebody. I'll call public service first. Always call public service first. If you think there's a problem, sometimes it could be at your house. If it's from your house down, from the top, then that's your electrician's got to take care of that. If it's something that goes from your house to the street, that's public service. All right, how would, yeah, okay, my son told me that some local unions like the IBEW wants their electricians to either be a journeyman or licensed electrician. What does that mean for everybody else? Um, that means more, I guess, safer places, safer buildings and safer houses and safer, all kinds of stuff. Are my outdoor light sensors or time is affected by extreme cold? Yes, sometimes, your motion lights might act a little crazy, due to the cold and stuff like that. But for most part, they don't really that doesn't really affect them. Sometimes it does. And your outdoor lighting timers shouldn't be affected by that though. Maybe motion once in a while. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of different subjects, not only just, electrical wise, how to get your license and stuff like that. And prep you for the license and stuff like that. But we'll have, helpful videos, show you how to do things and, um, you know, uh, answer your questions on a lot of, subjects, what you can do and what you can't do. Um, because like I said, everything is, governed by the National Electrical Code, all right? There's, this tells you everything that you can do and you can't do electrical wise. Electrical wise in the United States. It says, okay, so you said you have your heat on, however, I think my insulation is off. My roof is so clean, doesn't look like any snow has fallen. Hmm. It doesn't look like my snow has fallen, okay. So is there any other DIY questions that anybody needs to ask? Yep, Evan's right. It sounds like it's bad installation. It's not, what do you have in your attic, Sparks? Do you have a lot of insulation in your attic or none at all, or? You have spraying insulation or you have bats, like, the, it's in one part. Is it really skinny or is it like, the R value, big enough? Like, I mean, in the attic, you should have like what, 21, R21 or something like that. In the walls, it's like R19, but I think in the attic, it's like, 21, right? So window film for the heat. Still something normal. Hmm. I never heard of that. Window film. What is that? Oh, it's only in one part of the attic. Yeah, you're probably under insulated, Sparks. I mean, I could answer some of your DIY stuff as far as the insulation goes, and certain things. We're mainly an electrician, um, but I can answer stuff because I've done stuff in my own houses, and as far as that goes, I'm pretty handy too, but it's just like, I've done some stuff, so I can answer some of your questions, but I may not have the answers for all of your questions, as if it comes to other parts of the house, like doing insulation and all that stuff like that, but as far as the electrical goes, I'll do my best to answer your questions. Yes, what materials can I use to insulate my garage door on a budget? Hmm. Insulate your garage door on a budget? I would get the foam insulation. My brother and I bought some and hot glued it to the wood while we were building the house. Okay. Also, make sure, I know this sounds like a crazy question, make sure that you put your insulation in the right way. It's got to be facing the hot side of, uh, you know, the room, it's gotta be, like, the paper has to be facing, whatever it's insulating. So if it's insulating the room below, the paper has to be facing down, obviously. So obviously your insulation will be facing, the pink part will be facing up in the attic. Oh, your wife wants to know, Evan? Um, overloaded circuits, constantly tripping the breaker. The circuit's getting hot. So it's always gonna keep tripping the breaker. When you put so many things on, especially if you don't have enough circuits in the kitchen and you got a lot of appliances, whether it's a waffle maker, a coffee maker, it's going to trip your circuits right away, or if you're going to plug in a space heater where it doesn't belong, like we were talking about with the separate circuits. If you're going to just plug it in any old outlet in the house, it's going to trip that circuit because, especially you have that, maybe a vacuum cleaner, stuff that it should be. What are the signs of overloaded circuits? Yeah, that's what happens. It usually trips the circuit, um, or will burn the outlet when you plug the, appliance. Say if you plug the space heater into the outlet, it will start to heat up the plug. When the plug starts heating up the plug, it starts to burn the outlet, like, the inside of the outlet. So Evan, yeah, that could be a sign, that some of your circuits are overloaded. I would get them checked out, the lamp post in front of my home just stopped working. It's flickering. What do you think it could be? The lamp post in the front, it just stopped working. That could be a loose bulb. That could be a loose neutral wire, you know. Um, so these are things that electricians should check out. Sometimes you can't fix everything yourself, but to save money, you can do the basic things if you're a DIYer, you know what I mean? Okay, so it says that some of the cords are warm. Yeah, but Evan, like you said, if your wife said some of the cords are warm, uh, I would look into that, as far as breaking the circuit up, have an electrician come and check your circuits to make sure that they're not being overloaded. He can tell by going in the panel, like I said, putting putting the multimeter on your on the breaker, the wire going to your breaker, and he can test, amperage. He could just test the amperage. He puts this around a wire, clamps it around a wire, and then he can test it. You know. So he says, Spark says, can you tell me about a time where you saw that customer's home was in bad shape? I see them all the time. You know what I mean? Some people have really old wiring, sometimes you can fix it and sometimes you have to replace it, because it gets so brittle from the heat, especially if there's a lamp there for years and years and years, and the heat and the heat and heat, it just starts to crumple in your hands. You know what I mean? When it starts to crumple in your hands like that, that's when you really have to, sometimes you can tape the wire if it's still intact, but if it starts coming off and, just disintegrating in your hand, then you have to pull that stuff out of the fixture, the device box, the fixture box, and you have to strip back the cables, you know, and then you'll be able to get, if you have enough slack. If you don't, then you have to run a new wire. All right, so Evan says he also installed ceiling fan reverse mode for the winter. Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, Evan made a good point because, as far as the winter goes, when you got that little switch on your fan, um, and you want it to go, clockwise, So what it does is it brings the heat down during the winter. Whereas when you go counterclockwise with the fan with the switch on the other way, all right, it's going to bring is gonna bring the heat up, and then it's gonna cool the room. You know, so he's absolutely right. You know, for the winter, you should definitely use the reverse mode for the fan. Was that a safe thing to do? I'm not an electrician. My expertise is cooking. All right. Oh, so we got another cook in here, all right? Can I do my own commercial work? I own a restaurant. I've attempted to add USB outlets. Like I said, it's your restaurant. You're responsible for it. You know, I don't know about as far as a commercial place, but if you have your own house, you're responsible for your work. So you have to get a homeowner's permit. You can get a homeowner's permit and you could do your own work in your house. But just make sure you have somebody check your work over to make sure that you're doing it right, or or ask questions. As far as just be careful when you do your work, Evan. You know what I'm saying? That you shut the circuit off. You make sure everything is tight and everything is the way it's supposed to be. Um, you know, there's some good videos you guys can watch, or you can come in here and you can ask, and we can give you the right answers, as far as that goes. It says, can I do my own commercial work, on a restaurant, have, attempted to add USB outlets? But like I said, if you're gonna do anything that's new, where you have to run your own circuit, all right, you definitely need an electrician. All right, and make sure you get the proper permits. All right, what Lotus says, what two-prong outlets? What's the safest way to replace two-prong outlets with three-prong outlets? That's a whole boatload of them in my house. You could replace two-prong outlets with three-prong outlets, but that doesn't mean that there's a ground in your box. You have to make sure that there's a ground in your device box. Because it could be old knob and tube where we used to run two separate wires without a cable, and one was the hot and one was the neutral. There was no ground, So if that's the case, you should try to replace all the knob and tube that you have in your house. So it's purposeless to even run a three-prong outlet if there's no ground. That's why they still make two-prong outlets. So in case you had to replace it, you could replace it with the two-prong outlets, because the ground is not, you're gonna do absolutely nothing if there's no ground there. You can test for a ground by putting your tester on the plate. If it's a metal plate or the metal screw of the plate, you scrape off the metal screw of the plate. All right, to where you get metal. You put the tester on one part of it, and then the other part you'll put into the hot part of the outlet, which is the smaller slot. And then that will tell you if you have a ground, if you have 120 volts from that smaller slot to the ground, okay, then you have a ground. Then you can put your three-prong outlet in there. What are some emergency electrical supplies? That's a good question. That every homeowner should have, and that's a backup generator. At least a portable generator. To power up stuff, like in case you had to power up maybe your refrigerator or something to keep your food going, or if you want to power up your internet, because that's important to have. The internet and the refrigerator are the most important things to have during the winter time, when the power goes down. So sports if the winter they have, and then you could have like my wife had gotten me she's gotten like a solar powered stuff, like solar power radio is good to have, like a AM FM band radio, with solar power. You could have, like, you could buy a little solar panel that you hook up to like a battery pack that you charge. That's good stuff to have, when you want to do like stuff like that. Electrical supplies, as far as electrical supplies go. And Okay. I don't want this, so, okay, so you just don't replace it based on like the face value outlet, you have to, like, I go behind and do some. Yeah, I mean, when you change a Lotus, when you're talking about the outlets, changing the outlets again, we're going back to the outlets. And when you're changing the outlets, yeah, it's not just a cosmetic thing. It's a grounding thing. Where the two-prong outlets and the three-prong outlets, there's a reason for that. Well, it's easy to get messed up when trying to do electrical. What are some common mistakes you see that homeowners do in the winter? Seeds get when trying to do electrical outlets. How are some common homeowners do in the winter? Now, what was that when you said that question, Evan? Um, wow, it's easy to get messed up when trying to electrical outlets. What are some common mistakes you see the homeowners do in the winter? Well, like I said before, with the winter time with the outlets, I see that like you'll plug stuff into the GF, like GF5, but you won't cover the outlet, so it'll trip the breaker, so your lights will keep going off. What is how the homeowners do in the winter? It's easy to get messed up when trying to do electrical outlets. What are some common mistakes you see? Okay. So Lotus says if I would get a portable, how do I connect the generator, portable generator to my home electrical system? Well, before that, I was talking about installing a interlock plate, which is a plate that goes from your utility breaker, your main breaker panel, main breaker, and your main breaker panel. All right, and you have a breaker below that goes to a what we call an inlet box, and that gets mounted on the outside of your house, and the generator cord plugs into that. All right, so when you're able to switch over with the plate, so you don't backfeed. All right, while the utility's on, the generator isn't on at the same time. All right, and then it provides power to your panel. All right, since your main is off at that point, and it provides power to your panel. All right, and then you could just flick on what you want to flick on as long as you don't trip out the generator. All right, you just have to be careful what you put on. You can't put on like no condensers, like AC condensers, because they draw too much. You could put on heat, all right, because it's probably just going to start the pilot. So you could put heat on, all right. You could put your refrigerator on, uh, so that's how you do that, Lotus. Speaking generous, how do I prevent from overloading the generator? That's the thing, Evan. We're talking about the interlock plate. All right, it's a plate that goes onto the panel that mounted onto your panel cover, and it switches between the utility power and the generator power, which is the breaker that you put in for that generator outlet. We're talking about a manual, like a portable generator. All right, uh they do make generator panels that are manual. All right, so you turn on the breakers. It's the same effect as if you were using the panel, but it's a separate panel. You know, but when you do it with the standby generator, it's different because what happens is it is what we call an automatic transfer switch, and within seconds, um, it switches over from the utility power. Once that goes down, it automatically goes on, um, and it kicks on the generator. But that's a gas generator. That's a natural gas generator. You gonna let your husband see the video? That sounds like a good idea. Like I said, guys, just click like and subscribe to Electrician's Masterclass, so we can help you whatever field you're in. I mean, as far as whether you're a homeowner, whether you're aspiring apprentice, whether you're a licensed electrician, whether you're a union guy, a non-union guy, or you know, or you just want to do things around the house, you know, gonna cover everything, all right? As long as you do things safe and you do things right, you know? All right, so Spark says, okay, what's the recommended price for portable generator to cover a 4-bedroom house? Okay. What is recommended portable generator to cover a 4-bedroom house? So, let's see, my mother's home was built in 1905. We want to make it more energy efficient. Is there anything that we need to consider before doing the work? Mother's home was built in 1905. We want to make it more energy efficient. I mean, you could beef up on the insulation. You don't even have to take the walls down. I mean, they could spray that insulation in now, from the outside of the house, you know, Sparks. You don't even have to go, take the walls down, you know, if they spray the insulation in. Or if you do take down the walls and you know, and you do want to, re-sheet rock and re-insulate, you know, then you could change the insulation, you know. Or you could spray it in. I don't really suggest you spray the spray foam in. I'm not a big spray foam person because I'm an electrician, and if you have to change the wiring later on, it's not a good thing. I mean, the R value is probably better, and it's probably insulate your house better, but there's other ways of insulating your house. You were at Home Depot the other day. I think you need 100 watts for entire room with 4 bedrooms. Is that right? Yeah, but most so you're talking 100 watts. Yeah, so most of these generators they're like 3,000 watts. So, you know, as long as it's just a bedroom, you know, like and you know, like you putting lights and outlets and stuff like that. If you start plugging in portable heaters and stuff like that, then that's when it's gonna go up. And you know, you're gonna need you know, either a bigger generator, you know. Um, so but they usually start at like 3,000, 2,500, or something like that. And then they go up from there. Um, you know, but you know, most of these generators should, you know, it's nice to have a decent one, like a 6,500, you know, 5,000, you know. When I was at uh when I had my house, I had a 10,000 watt generator, you know, that I plugged into an inlet box, which was a 50 amp plug, and that pretty much did the whole house. It was only a small house though, you know. It wasn't very big. It was a 2-bedroom house, like 978 square feet or something like that. Okay, go ahead, do your thing, Evan. If I don't see you, you know, thanks for stopping in. All right. You're welcome to come back anytime, you know, and we can talk, you know. It depends on what you want to do, Lotus. If you want to, you know, like if you're gonna do the whole house or you're gonna do, you know, just certain things. If you just want to do certain things in the house, you know, you don't have to go, you don't need to go with a standby generator unless you want to, you know, control a lot of stuff. I mean, they make standby generators, 8 kW, you know, for like a certain amount of things, or they make them like 22, 24, for the whole house, Thank you, Lotus, for stopping in. Can I put two types of holiday lights into one two-prong outlet? Yeah, I mean, a lot of the holiday lights now, Sparks, is, a lot of them are LED now. So, that's gonna cut down, what you're drawing, you know? We're gonna try to, at least go, 2 nights a week, as far as, the lives, you know? Um, I will let you know ahead of time when we're gonna be on, and then you can just, just pop right in. Um, thanks, Sparks. I mean, you guys had a lot of good questions, a lot of them pertain, to winterizing your house, not just electrical wise, in general, so that's good, for a lot of people, and a lot of you guys gave a lot of good questions. Thanks, Evan. Thank you, Lotus. Like I said, if you can, guys, click like, subscribe, so we can make this thing bigger than, bigger than ever. Now you're talking about your transfer switch. Now were you talking about a portable generator or, okay. Evan, thank you. Tell your wife, thank you for asking the questions. I love it. That's great. So, when you're talking about a transfer switch, you're talking about a portable generator? Or you're talking about a standby generator? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, the portable generator, but it's huge. Okay. Like I said, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna put in a interlock plate in your panel. Um, I don't know if you're comfortable doing this kind of stuff as far as, in your house, Um, you might need an electrician to help you do that, because he's gonna run the inlet box, which is an outlet that the generator plugs into with the cord. All right, so he's gonna have to run that, so you're probably gonna need an electrician to do that for you, you know? If you decide to do it yourself, just have to make sure that you get your homeowner's permit because it is new wiring, you know what I mean? Even though it's not energized until you turn on the generator. And does it have when you say generator, how big is it when you say huge? How many kilowatts is it? Do you know? I mean, I would love to charge more in the winter time, but like it's not really being fair because you should be the same all year round. It's just like you don't go into somebody's house if they got a really nice house and charge them more, compared to the person who doesn't has a really small house. You know what I mean? So it should be all the way across the board. It has nothing to do with you're outside in the winter. You just got to make sure that you get paid for what your work. It's as big as a deep freezer, 8,000. Yeah, that's pretty big. 8,000 is big. Um, so 8,000 kilowatts. What is the size plug on there? Is it a 30 amp 240-volt plug you have on there? 30 amp? 1430? It's a 30 amp plug. Should be probably a 30 amp plug on there. Yeah, so you're gonna get around 30 amps. You're gonna get around, off of that. So you got to get a 30 amp inlet box, which you could get at Home Depot. All right. 30 amp inlet box. I think Reliance makes it. The company is Reliance. If you go to Home Depot, then you're gonna have to get an interlock plate. What kind of panel do you have? Evan? You have a 200 amp panel or a 100 amp panel? She wants to be an electrician. She's trying to make some money. Oh, you have a 200 square. All right, good, good. That's great. You got a 200 amp square D panel. Is it a home line or a QO? Or you don't know. It doesn't matter. The interlock plate should be the same for the QO or the home line panel that you have. Is it pretty new? Is your panel pretty new, Evan? Oh, it's QO. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So you could get the interlock plate for it. You have to put the interlock plate in. Um, your wife checked it, of course. That's good. That's good. My wife's pretty good when it comes to the electrical too, because she helps me with my business too, so she has got it together, when it comes to that. Um so yeah, you gotta put the interlock plate in the panel on the panel cover. It's gotta be, you have to put the 30 amp breaker in. You have to have the right wires going out to the breaker, which is 10-3 Romex. But like I said, if you don't feel comfortable, you need to get yourself an electrician and make sure he files a permit. Otherwise you do it yourself. It's up to you. You just have to make sure you know what you're doing. What about your buddies, Evan? Is there anybody that you know is an electrician? Or Oh, your brother-in-law, there you go. Yep. The best place to put that inlet box. Oh, he's in the union, he enjoys it. Oh, that's great, that's great. So he could put the inlet box, that's the thing though, you make sure that, you got the homeowner's permit, so you don't have to worry about, you just have to file a permit, but you could file it under your homeowner's permit. Cause I don't know if he's licensed or not, just because you work in a union doesn't mean you're licensed. Um, okay, my oldest son, 17, helps me with the lights. Joe, have you ever had your children help you out on a job? Yes, I did. I mean, my kid used to help me pull wire when he was young. But then he got bored real quick because it's too physical for him. Um, so anyway, with your brother Evan, um, he can he could run that for you. Um, Usually I like to put the inlet box right near the electric meter in that area, because this way it's close to the panel. You don't have to go too far, and you go right through and you just bring it right into the panel. You know what I mean? If that's the case, I don't know if your panel is like, in a good spot. I mean, because most of the cords like 25 feet that go to the generator, you can get them bigger. Oh, you told him to stay away. um, so he's in the union. Your brother-in-law, did he just get in the union? Is he an apprentice? I mean, they have a lot of good videos up here, like a lot of electricians, there's probably a video on there where they show you how to put the inlet box with the generator interlock plate in there, and the inlet box with the generator, you know what I mean? But like I said, like if they're running the wire, if you're running the wire, make sure you have that homeowner's permit. Always get your permits, if you're running anything new. So it tones down. Okay. So Spark said my daughter also helps me too. She's only 14, but loves snaking the wire. Yeah, that's what he used. I used to he used to help me snake the wire. Anybody that could help you pull wire is great. Oh, he's a journeyman. Okay, Evan, he's a journeyman. He's been 10-year journeyman. Okay, he does residential. Okay, I got you. I mean, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, as far as that goes. That's why somebody has to do the permit, because it's a new, you're running a wire. You're not just replacing something, when you're replacing something, then it, you don't need the permit. Once you start running wire, forget it. But that's good to have, Evan, like the generator panel, the generator inlet box and the portable generator, especially when it starts getting bad out.
Snakes, so, right?
Yeah, yes. Oh, my bad. We were talking about your daughter's helped you snake, Sparks. My daughter's helped me snake the wall too. Um, on a couple of jobs. So yeah. My son and daughter, they help me snake the walls, you know? Yeah. She knows, okay, she knows my dreams of becoming an electrician, all right. So Sparks, how old are you? You young? Did you go to, technical school yet? Well, the thing is, if he moves to Jersey, Evan, I'll definitely be able to teach him. But thanks for the compliment. But like I said, you know, you gotta take your, like, you gotta take your technical, you gotta take your technical school, you know, make sure you get into a technical school if, the electrician is not willing to teach you. You know, when you get into a company, or either that, like I said, or the union's a good choice. You could become a union electrician, and go through their schooling. Okay, you went for a certification at a community college. Okay, yeah, you got to get that general work experience first, you know. Um, and then you could start going for your license, you know, because you have to get approved to take the test, you know. Okay, 39 is, look, it's never too late for anything, you know. So Evan, thank you so much. Tell your wife I said Happy New Year also. And guys, drop in anytime you want. Any questions that you have, or if you think of any, just bring them to me when you come back. All right. We're gonna try to go live on Tuesday. If not, maybe before that, I'll let you know. But we'll put it up in on YouTube. All right. Um, all right, no doubt, Sparks. Thanks so much for stopping in. Thanks for the compliments, guys. Thanks for everybody stopping in. Like I said, click like, subscribe to Electrician's Masterclass. All right, where knowledge is power. And you guys have a good night. Happy New Year, everybody. Good night.